Hey, New York, it's AC Lowe, and this is the AC Lowe Show on the Centennial Broadcasting Network. We broadcast you live every single Monday night at 6 p.m. from 132 Mulberry Street in the heart of Little Italy. We are in Umberto's Clam House. Wonderful night out here. All the tables are out, and the cuisine is wonderful. The wait staff is wonderful. The crowd is terrific. So come on in and say whatever you got to say, because that's what we're going to do here on the AC Lowe Show. We do it every single Monday night. We are joined this evening by a previous guest, person that does it all. She even jumps out of airplanes. She's a writer, she's an artist, she's an actress, she's a dancer, singer, producer, director, and more than that, Mel House. Hi, Mel. How are you? Welcome to the show.
I'm great. Thanks so much for having me tonight.
It's always a pleasure to have you. Always a pleasure to have you. And to my left, I guess on you is left, right, we had a confusion last week on YouTube, is Bill Russo. He is none other than the host of the flagship premier program of the Centennial Broadcasting Network, and that's the Bill Russo Show. How are you, Bill?
Well, since this is the Anthony Lofaso's AC Lowe Show, am I on?
We just keep rolling, and no matter what technical difficulties you could keep. Well, anyway, let me just tell you that while we handle these and isn't it exciting? You're actually watching the technical difficulties right here on the program. That's one of the great things about YouTube. You can see the shortcomings and the failures of the people who you thought were so terrific. We make plenty of mistakes, but that's what it's all about.
Well, that was all done according to script, Anthony, so it worked.
It looks like we came right back. You came back bigger and better than
ever.
And
thanks for that introduction, and I guess because I'm on the AC Lowe Show, I have to say that my show is following yours, and it's the Bill Russo Show.
Absolutely. I like that. I think we should all do that. I think it's very, very helpful. Mel, what have you done since the last time we saw you? I think it's been a couple of months since you were on the show. So what's been happening?
Yeah, so Rabbit Island opened and closed. We were extended for a little while, and we got some wonderful reviews, including a backstage critics pick and a rave from Martin Denton of NewYorkTheater.com. And then I went on to do Homunculus Reloaded, which was the physical mask theater group. That was a several-week run. And then we were actually just invited to perform at the Living Theater, was it 2 weeks ago, as part of something called the Stampede Lab, which was started by Chris Harcum and Amy Todoroff, who are Elephant Run District Theater Company.
What is the Stampede Lab based on?
It's a brand new event that is being created by the Elephant Run District in collaboration with the Living Theater. And so it's a curated evening of independent theater. So they take 3 to 4 independent theater companies that do all kinds of interesting and exciting work, and they bring them together for a night and have them showcase 15 to 20 minutes of works in progress. And then it's also a sort of, this particular night was also a tribute to Stephen Ben Israel of the Living Theater, who recently passed away, and all of the proceeds were donated to his family. So several companies performed, and then we got to meet each other and have sort of a social hour afterwards.
It was open to the public?
It was open to the public, yeah. That was pretty great.
So you had like 5, I think I counted 5 different projects at one time?
There was definitely a lot going on. That same week as the Stampede Lab, I had a reading of a very exciting play, and I also went up to Boston to perform with the Emerging America Festival in an event called Experiment America, which was directed by created and envisioned by Michael Tara Garber, who is a really fascinating immersive theater director who was one of the directors who worked on Sleep No More. And this event was over 50 artists dancing immersive theater in loops, singing, dancing, like over 50 plays going on at the Institute of Contemporary Art in Boston.
You have your own production company?
I do. It's a theater company.
Theater company. What's the name of the theater company?
The Drawing Board.
Drawing Board. I want to know a little bit more about theater companies, production companies, from the point of view of getting them started and getting financing and keeping them going and finding venues. A lot of times we have guests on the shows, the AC Lowe Show and my show. We talk about the production and what the storyline is and who the actors are, but we seldom talk about what it takes to put together a production company and how you keep it going.
Actually, the Drawing Board is a wonderful example of several companies that sort of folded or grew into one company, because it is very expensive in New York to produce theater, and it's also takes a ton of energy. and the financing is very difficult. So what the drawing board is actually a collective of over 80 artists, producers, playwrights, actors, literary enthusiasts, designers, who come together on a monthly basis to explore and help develop new works for the stage and screen. So we recruit pieces of writing that are works in progress, from anyone from somebody who's doing their first script to somebody studying at Juilliard to somebody that's even been produced at the Manhattan Theater Club, and we look at their scripts, we do a table read for them, and then we have a sort of a post conversation.
Is it a for-profit company? Is it pay-as-you-go?
We actually service the writers at no cost for them, and the way we're able to do that is we have 6 sort of hosts or board members who contribute various things to the organization. So one of our members has a space in a space in Midtown that he's able to donate to us for free. So that's where we do our table reads and some of our workshops. I'm a member of the Players, and so that's the club on Gramercy that was Edwin Booth's home that's now turned into the Historic Players Club. And because I have access to that membership, I'm able to use that space to help facilitate staged readings and bring people together in a more public venue that then allows writers to have their work viewed by the public and to bring in other producers. The drawing board at present is working up to the staged reading. We're not doing off-Broadway level productions at the moment because of the financing that is involved in that.
How long has the drawing board been on the board?
2 years. A little over 2 years now.
Yeah, and most of our guests, as Bill was indicating, are doing something similar. Certainly not as aggressive as what you're describing, but the whole purpose is the financing, and it's become more and more difficult here in New York, and many are at a loss as to how to overcome it. People here in the city don't seem to want to pay sometimes, and the tourists come in and feed Broadway. But if it was left up to New Yorkers, all the lights would go out sometimes, and it's very discouraging. We see it in almost in all of the arts. I think it's safe to say all of the arts, don't you, Bill? We see it in music, we see it for singers, we see it for the dance, we see it in just about everything. Why do you think that is? Do you think we've created a habit of free?
Well, no, I think there's so much going on in New York at any one given time. It's just pulling focus. So, on a given night, someone can choose to go see a Broadway show or go see something over at the Lincoln Center or at Playwrights Horizon.